This is a disclaimer for those of you who are not interested in the subject of polygamy and who may find this topic disturbing and offensive. This video may not be for you. Black America has its secrets. If you were to walk down an urban street and peek through the window of some people's houses, you would be amazed at some of the things that you would see. If you could be the fly on the wall in an apartment or a house where a Black couple lives, you might be stunned at what you would witness, at what you would hear, at what you would see. Just imagine peering through the window of 1429 South Rigorous Street. At first glance, when you press your nose up to the window and you peer inside, you will see a happy couple smiling and enjoying an afternoon conversation. The TV would be on in the background, and you would observe a man and a woman having a conversation. They appear to be married. They appear to be in a committed relationship. Could they be husband and wife? Could they be boyfriend or girlfriend? You don't know, so you continue to observe. As you begin to follow the conversation and the going-ons inside the house, you realize that this couple appears not to be happy, but to be cynical and to be satirical and to be engaging in some type of heated conversation. All of a sudden, the words of the couple become clear to you, and you realize that they are having a heated discussion about polygamy. From your position at the window, you can tell that the woman is not happy about the discussion, about the suggestion of introducing another female into the relationship. You see the man's face and you realize that he is adamant about increasing the family with another wife. You, as an outsider looking in, are stunned that such a conversation is happening in America. But you would be surprised to find out that this conversation is not rare, that there are couples in the Black community, whether it's in Philadelphia, New York, Michigan, Chicago, Delaware, there are couples having these discussions. And you would be amazed to find out that it happens more than you would have expected. Hello, this is Elizabeth Griffin, the Black Romance Writer, and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, if you're not following me, please take a moment and do so, and definitely enjoy the video. Today, I want to have a conversation about Black polygamy in America, and the fact that there are women who are suffering in silence, who are carrying this secret, this burden of having a spouse, a mate, a significant other who wants to change the dynamics of their relationship. The relationship may have begun as a monogamous relationship between a man and a woman, a committed relationship. But somewhere along the line, somewhere down the road, the man gets an idea to have a polygamous relationship, to introduce another woman into the existing relationship. This usually is a shock to the woman. She has no idea that this type of conversation is about to occur. She has no idea that the man that she has been sleeping with and loving on for years has been entertaining the idea of polygamy and trying to figure out exactly how to introduce this subject into their relationship. Some of you listening to me, Elizabeth Griffin, the Black Romance Writer, may think that I am exaggerating or that these are anecdotal situations and that the majority of America, of Black America, is not participating in this type of activity. And you know what? You're right. The majority of America is not participating in this type of polygamy. But if you look around, there are relationships that fall under the umbrella of polygamy. The broad definition of polygamy is the state of marriage to many spouses. But under the umbrella of polygamy, you will find two terms: polygyny, which is a man that has multiple wives or multiple women functioning in a wife-like situation or capacity. And you will have also polyandry, which is when a woman has more than one spouse or mate. And it can be in a marriage-like situation, or it could be a woman entertaining more than one man in a husband-like state. Either way, these situations or these forms of polygamy do exist. I cannot speak on polyandry because I haven't come across that in my particular experience, but I can speak on polygyny, which I have seen on so many levels. I have talked to friends. I have experienced situations where this has definitely gone on. And I would like for you to take a moment to reflect, to think back in your life. Have you been introduced to any form of polygamy? Have you witnessed a neighbor, a friend, a family member? Have you been shocked to find out that there are couples out there who are participating in this type of relationship? And if I should take it a step even further, are these women happy and content in these type of relationships? Or have they been pressured into accepting a relationship like this because they want to hold on to a man? Do they find themselves in this situation because they have multiple children and they are, in a sense, locked into this situation? Leave a comment below. Let me know if you have seen this type of activity in your immediate environment. For those of you who follow my writing journey, you are aware that I have a series called The Black Wives Club, and it is focusing on the subject of polygamy in the Black community. I am looking at one particular family and I am telling one particular story about a polygamous family. So check out Cry Another Day, Season 1 and Season 2. These books have been gaining attention and I have been getting positive feedback on the books. The purpose of these books are to equip women with information about polygamy and to let them know that if they find themselves in this situation, if they are an unwilling participant in this type of relationship, that they can get out, that they are not alone, that she is not alone, that her experience is not as unique as she thinks it is, and that she can share her experiences with another person. The women that find themselves in these situations oftentimes feel like they are alone, feel like they are isolated, and that they have no one to talk to. And so they hold these secrets to their heart, to their breast, and they tell no one. They just deal with this anguish and this pain and this disappointment in silence. I'd like to tell them that they aren't alone, that there are other women going through similar situations. And it doesn't matter the age. I have met a particular man who was in his late 50s. He was entertaining the idea of having a polygamous relationship. He had been with his wife a long time, and he was also a grandfather. So you know he was up in age. This particular situation happens to the young, the middle-aged, and the old. As I said, I just want women to experience polygamy through my characters in my books and know that there is an out, that they aren't alone. They can find a person to empathize with, and that there is help out there, and that they, the person involved in this type of situation, can find themselves in a healthier relationship if they choose to reject this relationship. When you, as a woman, find yourself in a relationship where you are giving away pieces of yourself that you would not normally give away, meaning you are sacrificing your religious belief, your morals, your belief in the way society should work, your belief in the way that marriage should work and function. These things are challenged. Your idea about love is challenged. You view that other person that has proposed this type of marriage to you in a different light. And for some women, they may have done things within that relationship just to please that man. But at what expense? Are you sacrificing your integrity, your morals, your beliefs, your principles because you want to hold on to a man? And from what I've seen and what I've observed and what I've experienced, I realize that love has an expiration date. You can love someone until they turn you against them. You can love someone until they push you too far. And my suggestion is these relationships are unhealthy. These relationships are not going to yield the benefits that the man may think they will yield. Let me state before I go on that these are my opinions, these are my views, these are the things that I have observed and I've seen. I realize that if you bring children into this type of relationship, there are going to be consequences. You are going to introduce people into that relationship that may have ulterior motives. They may, and I'm talking about the women, they may want the man, but not the polygamous relationship. They may introduce themselves into this particular relationship with the intention of breaking up the relationship so that they can have the man. And the existing woman in that relationship, if she has children, she can have the children and she may eventually leave, which will leave the man available to this particular woman. I found that women can be very conniving, manipulative, vengeful, destructive, and jealous of other women who seem to have it all in a relationship. I also am concerned about the children in that relationship. What are the lasting impressions this polygamous relationship is going to leave on those children? How will it affect them? I don't believe that the outcome is worth the risk. You are introducing philosophies and mores to your children that you as a woman might not agree with. God forbid you introduce this type of relationship to your daughters and they in turn participate in this type of relationship. God forbid you allow your sons to observe these practices and they grow up to be polygamous like their father. I do understand that certain religious groups practice polygamy. They believe in first wives and second wives. But I also found out that in the United States, it is illegal to pressure someone into a polygamous relationship. They have something called the Anti-Bigamy Act of 1862, and then there is the Edmund Act of 1882, which makes it a felony to practice polygamy or bigamy. If any woman were to ask me, Elizabeth Griffin, my advice on the situation of polygamy, I would tell them that eventually, the woman is going to leave. If she doesn't leave, at some point, the man will abandon her and find a new wife or new sister wives or a new situation. I also would say that if you do not have children, flee these type of relationships and flee them quickly because you have too much to lose. There is no guarantee that this man is going to stay with you if you engage in polygamous types of activity. There's no guarantee. You still may find yourself alone and raising a lot of children and dealing with the heartache of the broken relationship and realizing that you compromise so much of yourself that you don't even recognize who you are anymore. I am obviously not a therapist. I am just a woman who is a writer, who observes the things that are going on around me and who has witnessed a lot. And what I say is that if you're able to go to counseling, to speak to a therapist or someone to help you navigate this difficult situation, then I suggest you do that. I definitely don't have the answers. I definitely don't know why some men choose to introduce polygamy into a relationship that is existing. I don't understand why a man decides to suddenly change the rules of the relationship. I understand that there are societal pressures that a black man goes through in America. I understand that I will never truly know what it's like to be a black man in America, walking the streets of America, trying to create a legacy and a family in America. I can only say this. You, as a black man, will not find your manhood in manipulating and sleeping with multiple women. You will not find your manhood in being idle and being aimless without purpose. You will not find your manhood in creating families with multiple women. You will not find your manhood in fathering daughters and sons and then leaving them for the woman to raise. You will not find your manhood in alcohol, in drinking, in gambling, and all the vices that this world has to offer as a distraction to the pain and the discomfort and the things that you are going through. What I would suggest to you, black man, also is to go to therapy, to talk to someone, to help them help you strategize a plan so that your life is what you want it to be. Your life reflects the things that you want, and that you look back at your life with little regret. Because I find that these men who go down these roads ultimately are not happy. Ultimately, they find themselves looking back over their life with lots of regrets. And they also have discarded or abused or hurt women who loved them, who was there for them. And let me reiterate, I'm not talking about all black men. I'm not talking about all types of relationships. I'm talking about polygamous relationships and what I have observed and the detriment that I have observed in the black community as a result of this. There are also different forms of polygamy. There is the man that has multiple households with multiple women and multiple babies. There are men that don't legally marry any woman, but they cohabitate with these women. Lots of times, these men don't have enough money to support these families and these children that they create. So, as I said, these are my opinions and my beliefs and the things that I have seen and observed. I would suggest definitely therapy, definitely finding out where the root of these desires come from, the desire to practice polygamy, the fear of marriage and commitment, where does that come from? Is there a possibility that these men and women, is there a fundamental reason why these people put up with these type of relationships? I don't have the answers. I'm still exploring the topic of polygamy. I'm still trying to understand it in the context of America, Black America. I also believe that there aren't a lot of books out there discussing these topics. When I first became acquainted with polygamy in America, it was in the 90s. And the only book I found, fictional book I found, that gave me some insight into that world was a book by Ama Ata Adu, and it's called Changes. Definitely give it a read. It is a book that inspired me to write Cry Another Day, because I wanted to tell a polygamous story, a polygamous relationship on American soil with African American people, and all the complexities and the ins and outs of polygamy, of marriage, of relationship, of commitment, of love, what it is to be loved, how to recognize love, manipulation, psychological warfare, all those things. So, thank you for allowing me to express my opinions on the subject. This video is going to be not for everyone, but I hope those women and men who need this type of video, I hope they find it. And I pray that they find an answer to their wants and desires and needs and ambitions. And as always, thank you for joining me on my platform. I'm wishing you love, peace, joy, and happiness, as always. Until next time, bye-bye, and happy writing.